What's up, otakus? Um, oh boy, a lot's happened since our last video. Uh, last video we got a mail. We did a mail call. We got a big book sitting right back there, and I went into debt with my wife getting that book. But I was able to quickly, and I was proactively because I didn't want to be in like debt, and I wanted to pick up books. So I proactively sold some books, and we made a good like $50. So I paid off my debt, and I still have about $10 left. But I picked up another big book that just came into half price books. I sniped it before anyone else could, and then I went to Mill Geek, and Mill Geek we spent $10 in the 50-cent bins, picked up 25 books. So there's really sort of two parts to this haul. So let me just tell you what I spent first of all. We have 28 books. We spent about $38. Yeah, $38 on 28 books. But it's really two parts. It's $25 plus tax for one book. Okay. And then it's about 1050. Yeah, 1055 plus tax, if you add tax, 1055 for 25 books. Sorry, 27 books. So one book we have. Hey, what's up? This is going to be just a great haul video. I haven't done a haul video this big in quite some time, and we didn't spend a lot. So we spent a lot on one book. $25 on one book. It's a big book, and we're going to reveal that at the end. That's the book of the haul, and then we're going to reveal about 27 books that we picked up for about $10.55. So let me just do the math on 27 books for $10.55. That's about 39 cents a book. Okay, we're going to go through this first part of the haul. Picked up everything for about 39 cents per book. Great value. Now, there's not going to be anything here that's like jaw-droppingly, I think, valuable. These are all just things I like to collect. And Mill Geek, so the last time we were at Mill Geek was actually before Free Comic Book Day. And we kind of went through the bins. There wasn't much there. And I thought they would have refreshed it, the day before Free Comic Book Day. They didn't refresh anything. Apparently, after Free Comic Book Day, they refreshed it. And I kind of regret not having gone there right after Free Comic Book Day because I'm sure there was a lot of good stuff. But we went in there today. Still a lot of good stuff. Still a lot of good stuff that I left. I mean, there was like newsstand Punisher War journals in there. There was like Cloak and Daggers. I mean, just a lot of good stuff that we just couldn't pick up all of it. But I felt like, yeah, I went in there just looking to spend maybe under $5, but we ended up picking up 25 books for $10. Plus, I also picked up 2 quarter books, which makes it 27 for $10.55. So again, got really good value from this first part of the haul, and got a good value, I think, on the last book as well for $25. So stick around. This is just going to be a very exciting video. We're going to go through the haul first. I'm not going to grade all the books because there's a lot of books. I am going to, though, maybe grade a few while I'm cleaning and look over some of the books that probably need a good, just a good wipe down. where we try to get off some of the gunk and dirt on some of these issues. So let's get started. All right. We're going to start with, we picked this up for 50 cents. Not a big book yet, but I think this will, I think this is going to get on people's radar sooner than later, and that is Doom 29. It's the first appearance of Doom 29, 2099. So this is just a nostalgic book from back in the day. I believe this was like 1994 or 5, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, just a great character right there for the, post Age of Apocalypse 2099 series. And my camera's not coming into focus again, so there you go. 50-cent pickup. Don't mind that. Put stuff here to the side. All right, the next book, I gotta show these books in tandem. So I told you we picked up 2 25-cent books at Half Price Books, and they're these 2 books that I'm about to show off. One wasn't, I didn't want to get it actually. But so let me show off this one first. This is the book we got for a quarter. Now what you'll notice here in the corner is there's a bit of ink rub there because I took the sticker off and then I tried to wipe the residue off and the ink came off. And that really vexed me because it was like a really nice copy. I should have probably just kept the sticker on, but you got it off, and that's the sticker right there actually at the top. And as you can see, there's a good amount of color, that red color that just kind of came off. And yeah, it's still a nice book. It's this is a Spanish copy of Daredevil. What was it? I gotta look it up. Daredevil. It's a Frank Miller, Klaus Johnson run on Daredevil here. Classic issue. Daredevil, 187. And this cover, it's a classic Frank Miller cover. I did do some eraser time with this, so it does look presents a little better than when we picked it out raw. Now I got this book, it was sitting in the 25-cent bins raw, no bag or anything, because it's a larger format. As you can see, this is the comic size. You can see it's just a little wider than the comic version. But very cool. Yeah, it's like a newsstand copy of this Spanish version. Now this was also printed in like 1985, which is a couple years after the original run of the Frank Miller, when this series came out. And just a great cover buy for me. No ads in this as well. It's just all comics. So, and it's all in Spanish. I understand a little bit of Spanish, un poco, but pretty cool book. Yeah. So this is a book, that you don't run into every day. Don't mind picking that up for 25 cents. So you can see so that book was raw. I actually just got this book because it was raining that day. And you don't want to carry a raw, as it's a big book. So I didn't want to carry it, try to cover under my coat and all that without some backing. So I just got this book for the board. It's Pit number 2. think I had Pitt #1 back in the day, but Dale Keown art, good. I like Dale Keown's art. He's did a good run on the Hulk in the '90s. He did Pitt. He's the creator of Pitt. But yeah, I needed this book to carry that Daredevil book out and not get it wet, So I kind of put it under here and put it under my coat and walked out. Otherwise, the raw book would have probably gotten damaged more. So that was great. All right. Thanks, Card Imperial and Comics. Stay tuned. We got more. This one was a no-brainer when I ran into it. I was like, no, we're getting this. So 50 cents we picked up Ghost Rider and Blaze, Spirits of Vengeance #1. This is part 2 of the 6-part Rise of the Midnight Sun series from the 90s. This is a newsstand copy. This is as sick of a Adam Kubert cover as you're going to get for Ghost Rider. Now, part 1 was penciled by his dad, Joe Kubert. That's a classic issue. The next one in the series is this. And so, yeah, for 50 cents, this is just 90s nostalgia there. Very badass cover there. This one we just picked up for 50 cents. I kind of regret having picked this one up, but it was just in the pile. I didn't really have a chance to it's a nice Art Adams cover, so, classic X-Men 10. This is just probably going to go into my, trade box. I am kind of collecting classic X-Men, but only if it's 50 cents and if it's really, high grade, and that's what we got here. We got, a high grade copy. Great Juggernaut cover, Art Adams. So, didn't mind picking that up. We got another Art Adams. So I had a copy of this. It's on the back here. I had a previous copy, but it wasn't that great. I think I picked it up for 50 cents or a quarter or 33 cents or something. But I was in the back of my mind was like, man, it's not in great shape. This is just one of my childhood books that I love. It's got the first team appearance of the X-Babies. Just a great Art Adams cover as well. So this is the better copy. The back cover, I put my previous copy in the back, and I put the better copy. This is first of all, this is a lot brighter in terms of the colors and the white. It's just more vibrant. This one's kind of has a lot of, as you can see, it's kind of dirtier. This one's a lot cleaner. So yeah, we added a better copy. This is near mint, VF to near mint, VF plus to near mint minus, which is added a better copy, improved copy for 50 cents. We also picked up X Factor Annual, also from the Evolutionary War. This is just a great Walt Simonson newsstand of Apocalypse. It's taken out the High Evolutionary. Just a nice cover. Yeah, we picked up some Walt Simonson X Factor because it was 50 cents. These are keys, 17. Newsstand there. And then this is just a nice cover of the X Factor team. I like the costumes for Cyclops and Jean. These X Factor suits are pretty dope. Wouldn't mind seeing that come back, actually. So yeah, 2 X Factor keys for 50 cents each. Actually, these are all, again, 39 cents technically if we distribute what we paid. This is a 39-cent book as well. 39 cents. We got Superman special. And what's cool about this book is it's a story by Walt Simonson, but it's you've got a lot of artists in here. You got Frank Miller, Barry Windsor Smith, Kurt Swan, Michael Golden. And if you look at the very bottom there, Todd McFarlane. Yes, you have Todd McFarlane, Superman, in this issue, and we'll take a look at Todd McFarlane, Superman, and I'll let you be the judge of. Again, I think Superman. It's sort of a test. I think I love Walt Simonson art. I love Walt Simonson's style and art, but he can't draw Superman worth crap. So it's unfortunate. All right, we're gonna get into some cool George Perez books now. So we're gonna get into sort of artist books now. I picked up books by artists I like, and yeah, we'll get to those. First off, we picked up these great George Perez Marvel covers here. Heroes Reborn, The Avengers, #1. This is from 1997. And this is a wraparound cover. So, I mean, it's just like all these Marvel heroes front and back. Picked that one up for 50 cents. We also picked up #4. This is a key issue. It's the new form. So if you remember, like the original Avengers, they do something similar where they kind of put all these like Marvel heroes up, and they say, one of these members will not be an Avenger, or no, will be an Avenger, or something to that effect. And they have something similar here. It's like, who will be the Avengers, and they show all these faces, but there's a new team that emerges from this. And the bonus poster is in this one, so this is absolutely complete. Great 90s book, and a great cover by the late legendary George Perez. Beautiful book. And here's another beautiful book, George Perez cover for Action Comics 646. Newsstand. Pick that up all day. We got a Namor #2 newsstand. Just the cover by John Byrne. Okay, so now we're into the John Byrne. Just into the John Byrne. And for those of you who've been watching my videos, I've been on this John Byrne Action Comics kick. And we kind of went in today to, obviously with that in mind. So if we ran into something, it'd be an Unmyeong book, right? Unmyeong is a Korean word for destiny. And in comic books, in terms of my hunts, it's that, when you're looking for it and you run into it, that's an Unmyeong hunting moment. And we got one of those, but we'll get to it. So this one was just really clean. It was like a near mint copy of a John Byrne Batman book, newsstand. Batman 435, is it? Yeah, 435. Interior's Jim Aparo, but you got this great John Byrne cover. He did The Many Deaths of Batman. He did wrote the story, and I think he did the art on the first couple of issues. No, I think maybe Aparo did, but he wrote this sort of mini run, The Many Deaths. Yeah, just a great pickup for 39 cents. This one needs a bit of cleaning, but again, another great Byrne cover. We've got West Coast Avengers Annual number 4. Gather Now, Ye Seven Brides. Just a great burn cover there. Added that for 50 cents. Another one that we added, The World of Smallville, number 1, newsstand, 39 cents. I keep saying 50 cents, but it's 39 cents technically. This one's got issues, it's probably closer to a very fine copy. But great John Byrne cover there. Interiors are by Kurt Schaffenberger. So just a classic, 2 classic creators working on Superman there. All right, so this is the Union book. This is the book we were looking for, actually. This is sort of the big one in the John Byrne Action Comics run that we were looking for. It's a key book, beautiful cover. It does have issues. It needs a good cleaning, first off, and we'll probably maybe do some eraser time on it after after we review all the books. But I do want to be careful. Now, I do want a better grade of this copy, but for now, this is like the placeholder in my collection. But we've got Action Comics 593. This is a key issue. It's a controversial issue. And I just love how Mr. Miracle, Superman, and my wife, it's like, that's a tough act to follow. Yeah, Superman's after your girl, man. That's just a tough act to follow, but beautiful burn cover there. Yeah, it's just, I'm so happy to have this in my collection now. It's one I've been thinking about targeting, and the fact that we found it today for 39 cents is, it's kind of a beat up copy. Corners are sharp, no creases, but it's got some what do you call it? It's just got some tape pull or something, or stain or something. We'll take a look at it. It's a mid-grade book. Don't mind. We also picked up some Neil Adams. Last time we were at Mill Geek, we ran into this book for 50 cents. Great Neil Adams cover. Well, we ran into another Neil Adams cover. In fact, I think I had this one. I did run into this one last time I was there, but I didn't pick it up. But we picked it up today, and that is this great variant cover, Green Arrow variant cover. You have Green Arrow and Black Canary there, embracing around a big explosion. Dope ass cover right there. And we also picked up this Avengers Finale, Neil Adams cover. That's nice. Anytime you get Neil Adams on the Avengers, that's pretty cool. This is I think a more modern book. This is from maybe I have to look it up, but I would imagine it's around the 2000s. Somewhere around there. All right. Now we're getting into the Jim Lee books. We picked up a lot of Jim Lee books. In fact, let me just give you an updated count on what we have. The Jim Lee book count is we're at 200 and wow, yeah, sorry, not 200, 322 books now in the Jim Lee collection. So we're at 322. We picked up a lot of cool books. I gotta say cool books. And one sort of big one that we've had on the list. I didn't go into there today thinking I'd find it, but it's been on my list. So I guess technically these count as Unmyeong books because we always are surprised when we find Jim Lee books. So this one we picked up only because it's actually a near mint copy. I have a VF copy of this. I have actually 4 copies of this. Sorry, 3 previous copies. This is my 4th copy, and but it's my cleanest copy yet. So didn't mind picking it up. This we picked up X Factor 62 newsstand. Again, it's like a very clean newsstand copy. So this kind of becomes my best copy. I've got the second best copy back here, and I've got 2 more copies put in the kind of in the trade pile or the sell pile. But yeah, we've already had that book. This next one is just a variant cover. This is a book I know when it came out back in the day. It's like I wanted to collect all of these. These were the ratio variants back in the day. But you'll remember they're connecting covers for all the image titles that were coming out from like the Wildstorm Top Cow people. And we have Wildcats number 11, again, the Will Spertatio variant. That is just a beautiful, beautiful cover. And another addition to the Jim Lee collection. Yeah, I mean, this was like a $25 book when it first came out. I was just like so wanting to have it. All these variant covers that connect. They were like you go to the LCS and it was just like $25, right? It was like a $20 book, right off the the newsstand, right off the hot off the presses. They just put it in the bag and board, and it was like 25, right? So I was like, man, I want that book, but I couldn't get it. But now we got it for 39 cents. So time does some amazing things. All right. This one is just one we've been eyeing for a long time. I've had many opportunities to do it. I just figured, we got to pick up 25 books. We'll just pick it up today. And that is Divine Right number 1, the A cover. Cool Jim Lee book. All right, so these are the Unmyeong books for Jim Lee, and I guess we'll start with the big one. This is his first work on Green Lantern. It's Jim Lee's first Green Lantern cover work on the character, published work on Green Lantern art. And back from 2001, we got Green Lantern 1 volume. What volume was this? I think it's volume 7, 143. No, sorry, this is volume. Anyways, one of the volumes. I think it's volume 2. Sorry, volume 2, 143. Volume 3, maybe volume 2. But yeah, that's Jim's first Green Lantern, and we got really lucky with the Green Lanterns. This is another book. It's been on my radar for a long time, but it's the Lanterns there. Sick Jim Lee cover. 150. He comes back with 151. He comes back with 153, but I don't have that one. But we did pick, 152. I don't have that one, but we did pick up 153. Jim Lee and Scott Williams goodness right there. Kind of getting rolling as this was when he got back. He started working at DC. These are some of his first books at DC, right? And he was just getting going. He put out some covers, and then he gets us with Batman Hush, and just part of the entire arc of Jim Lee. And these are just nice additions to the PC. I mean, these aren't going anywhere. get these for 39 cents each is just like such a treat, and it's a testament to patience. We could have gone out and spent on eBay to get. I actually had thought about getting this off of eBay because it's just an amazing, incredible cover. I was just like, I gotta have this book, but we were patient. We picked it up, very high grade copy for 39 cents. So very pleased with the Jim Lee books. All right. This is a big book. And normally, so, the Half Price Books has a section. It's the lock box. They lock them up. But you can kind of dig through. And if you want one, you have to call a guy and they open it up, you pull it out, you look at the condition and all that. Well, this book ran into it. At first I was like, I don't have the budget for this. Mind you, I was like $10 in the hole. And I was like, man, do I want that book? I hope no one picks it up. I'm just like, so I go and I just basically reach out to my contacts here, and I just like, hey man, I want to get rid of books. Are you open to? I'll give you a great deal. Are you open to buying sort of a lot of books? And so I was able to, I gave up sort of a lot of value, but I moved some books, got $50, and we went back to Half Price Books, and I picked this up. We got it for $25. I was disappointed because I took the book out, and before I bought it, I was like, can I take a look at the inside? And the lady was like, sure. So I opened it, took it out, and there is, I think this had a Marvel stamp, because one of the pages was there was a cutout. So I think they took out the Marvel value stamp out of this. At least that's what I'm assuming, because there's, again, one page with a little section cut out. So it's not a complete book, unfortunately. And there's about, I want to say about an inch spine split at the top. So this is a low grade copy. It's not, I would, with everything, everybody's saying it's a fair, it's probably under a 2, but it presents so beautifully. I'm just gonna, for me personally, I think it presents like it's like a 2.5, but given all the cutout and the spine split, it's probably under a 2. But we got picked up Fantastic Four 57, just a classic Kirby cover of Doctor Doom, and look how beautifully it presents here. It's going to get in the light. Okay. Not a lot of major creasing. If you just went by the cover, this is like a 4.0. I'd put it like a very good plus or a fine minus. But again, here's the back. Very, very dirty. It's also, it just has that, it has that brittle look to it. The oxidated brittle look to it. So paper quality is not great. And again, there's a spine split right at the top. You can't see it. Only when we take out the book and open it will you. But it's the staples are there. It's connected. It's not a detached cover. It's just a little bit of a spine split at the top there. Not a whole lot of creasing. Um, I think it presents pretty fantastic, pretty fantastic. And you just got this great like cover. Just, I mean, that's a sexy cover right there. So, yeah, I mean, this was for $25. I felt like we kind of paid what it's worth, right? I don't think we overpaid. I think we paid right around what it's probably valued at in terms of like a 2.20, right? A 2.0 grade. Um, but I will say this, like this book ain't going anywhere. This book ain't going anywhere. Um, and I mean, that's, I love me some Doom. I love me some Doctor Doom. So, um, yeah, this has me like wanting to pick up more like Silver Age Fantastic Four. But we'll have to see. That's a big lift. But yeah, just cannot believe how lucky we were. Lucky because I mean, I rented the book. I probably knew like by the weekend it would be gone. Enough people come to Half Price Books and they dig. In fact, there are regulars like me. I run into regulars like me all the time, digging into the 25-cent bins and all that. So I knew this book would be gone. But when I saw it, I was like, man, what can I do to just scrounge up $25? I almost like went to my wife and said, honey, can I get an advance, or like doing everything. But fortunately, we were able to move some books and get it. And that's a great thing. I'm part of this comic book trade on Instagram right now. We created a bunch of community members created a sort of a message. What would you call it? It's a group. 22. Shout out to 22 Comics. He basically added some people he's traded with before, whom he trusts, into a group chat. And then he said, feel free to invite, as long as you have traded with them and can vouch for them, please feel free to invite, whoever. And I added some people, other members joined. So we've got like the likes of Bronze Age Nerd. We've got, let me just pull up all the people in this little group here. We've got MON Comics, Bottom Tier Collector, Bronze Age Nerd, Evils Comics, Naman the Drawman, Fat Boy Prime, myself, Dan's X-Men Comics, What's on the Comic Rack, Comics Limited, Trev the Shipping Guru, Psychotronic Squirt Gun, Cheap Comic Collector, Big B, McFly, Brian LCS, and Young's Comics. And kudos to 22 Comics for putting this group together. It's basically a forum for people to trade, like propose trades. And if you have something on your want list and a guy's got it, it's an opportunity to just DM each other. And again, everybody, they're, we only let people into this group who, others can vouch for. So there's a high level of trust among the members of this group. And I'm currently in discussion with a couple of people in the group that's we could get a deal going. I think one guy's like looking at my books right now. I definitely want one of his books. I mean, if he's open to just straight up trading, I could have a really, really big book in a couple of days. So we'll see. I have to give up a big book, but I don't mind. I don't mind giving up the book in question for the book he has. So we'll just have to see how he responds. So yeah, Comics Limited. If you catch this on the rewind, come on, man, let's do it. Let's pull the trigger on that trade. I know you like Spider-Man and G.I. Joe, so let's just do it. Sounds like you don't even like the book that you have. It's not a big one for you, so let's just do it. Do it, my buddy. All right. All right. Well, that's pretty much the haul. As you can see, like nothing really. Again, this is sort of the big book we picked up. And man, I almost slept with this book the first night I got it. I just was like sitting in my bed, like admiring this book, and man, we just picked up some pretty big books. Like I just to get them out down for you here. We recently picked up a signed copy of Neil's first work on Batman. That's a big pickup. And then this one. So got two really nice, Silver Age books that we've added to the collection. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to not necessarily get into grading because there's too many books. We'll just grade these, when we get to them. But I do want to, there are a couple books in here that we want to clean. And so as we're cleaning them, I guess we'll kind of take a look at the grade. These ones are kind of dingy, so I feel like we do need to kind of get in there and just maybe do some eraser time, nothing crazy. But yeah, they need a little bit of TLC, I guess. And this one here, we're just gonna open up, take a look inside. I'm sure everybody wants to see Todd McFarlane's Superman, so we'll do a little bit of that. What other books here can we look at? I think that's it. It's Midnight Suns. We don't really do too much with that. Yeah, I think that's the only one we really want to kind of spend time on. We'll just look here again. The Namor book, that should be good. I don't think we need to take that one out and look at it. I will show this. We'll show this cover here. This is Avengers #1 from 1998. We've got this great wraparound George Perez cover. All these great Marvel characters from the 90s. And this amazing cover. Now, this was right around the time the comic boom was a bust. So, they're just literally like trying to get you to buy a book by saying collector's item, first issue, right? It's like, no, by this point, it's like, it's not going to be a collector's item. But it is for me, I don't mind putting stuff like this in my collection. So, yeah, this is a great pickup. Don't mind picking up wraparound George Perez covers on #1 issues. All right, so let's start here. I'm gonna just thanks, Mike. Thanks for joining, man. So we're going to get into this book. We're not going to necessarily clean or do anything. I'm going to show off some Todd McFarlane art and maybe some Frank Miller Superman art. And we'll leave it at that. Hang on just a moment here. All right. Did something really dumb with this. They kind of sealed up the cover. That was weird. Just gonna have to rip the tape here. I'm gonna get this tape off. Oof. Cut it out. That's not. Oh. Someone was trying to be clever by putting the tape on the inside of the book. It was not clever at all. It was stupid. All right. Here we go. So this was a special issue with written by Walt Simonson. So you get some Walt Simonson Superman here. Not terrible, I guess. It's not my cup of. The cover was not my cup of tea at all. Oh man, look at that Azrael. All right, so let's get Walt Simonson Superman. I think this is it. Who is this? I mean, we'll know Todd McFarlane Superman when we get to it. I feel like I'll be able to tell right off the bat. So this is still, it's mostly Simonson. Where's the, This is a 64 pager, but I feel like the Simonson art's gone to, here we go. So these are just prints, I guess. That's, all right, so we got Barry Windsor Smith. That's pretty cool. Got Frank Miller right there. That's kind of cool. I think that's, what is this? Kurt Swan. Who's this? This is Michael Golden. And then John J. Muth. And, oh, there we go. This is Geoff Darrow. And there you go. Superman with Spawn's cape. Very Todd McFarlane-esque. Again, not a great Superman, in my opinion, but it is very Todd. Classic Todd, I guess. All right, that was kind of cool. And cool Walt Simonson art. I will say the art on the interior is definitely better than this cover. The cover wasn't working for me really, but the Simonson Superman on the interior is not that bad. Better than this cover for sure. All right, next book. We're gonna do some cleaning now. Just kind of, wipe some of the dinge off some of these books. Maybe do some eraser time. We got the eraser here. I'm not seeing some spots there. All right, so we got this little doohickey. I'm gonna put just a spritz of bleach on here. Rub that, get it nice and wet. And we're gonna just do a nice kind of rub down. Get that surface dirt off. Nice. Okay. This isn't all that bad to begin with in terms of like dirt. There's just the back has a little bit of a stain there. I'm not going to just kind of do a light rub. Try to get some of that stickiness off. All right. I am going to do a little bit of eraser time here right along the edge. You can get that spine looking just a little bit lighter and cleaner. Nice. All right, let's flip it around. Just get this. Like it. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to go crazy with this. I mean, it's not like we're going to get this graded or anything. Let's get that edge kind of a little lighter. Oh, all right. There's a little area, this book section here, I think. Just give it a nice, soft, oops. Okay. Yeah, it's like, don't mind the condition that this book is in at all. It's a little dingy. Put it at a fine plus, maybe VF minus copy here. Not terrible. It's got some staining on the back. I'll put it at like a 7.0. No, it's got a crease here, so put it at a 5.5. At a 5.5. Action 646. Oh, we haven't even put this into the system yet. Let me put it in there now. $646. Newsstand. This is October of 1989. Back when they were putting Action Comics out. I think they're putting out every other week. It was like crazy. It was like twice a month you'd get Action Comics. You got Keith Giffen. And Roger Stern. All right. And we're going to put this at 5.5. Nice mid-grade copy. It's got a little bit of a corner crease here. I just noticed that. So, I mean, with the press, you probably wouldn't. It doesn't break color really. You can't. I don't know if you can even see it through the bag, but it's there. It's like right across here, a corner crease. All right, this is one we're going to spend a lot of time on. So I want to start with just this one here and get this one out of the way. And I don't want to go crazy on this book because I feel like I'm going to eventually get another copy of this. At some point we'll get a high grade copy of this. So for now, I just want to just wipe off. Look at all that dirt. That's what we're dealing with here. Just a dingy, dirty book. Especially along the spine. I think I'm going to do some eraser time right along with this A part portion on the Action Comics. The bottom of the book looks great. Look at that, the dirt came right off the little white area. So yeah, I think a little bit more. All right, let that dry off a little bit. The back has issues as well, so looks like it got pressed. No, it didn't get pressed, but it got warped here on the corner here. So I mean, this is staples are rusty as well. So this is just a book that's not aged well. Surprised there's not humidity damage and all that. Yeah, we got some folded or yeah, it's folded. Get that unfolded here. Let me give him a little. Hang on just a moment. I'll be right back. All right, I'm gonna unfurl this. Yikes, it's like kicked on. Doesn't. There we go. All right, so we unfurled the little corner there. Hey, what's up? Dan's X-Men Comics. Thanks for joining, man. Dan is also part of that comic book trading group I mentioned earlier. And man, I love this burn art. Sleaze, Mr. Miracle. It's just phenomenal stuff. All right. So yeah, I mean, I put this at a at like a 4.0. This just a lot of damage up here. There's some. It's not a rip, but this needs to be pressed. It could probably get resolved with the press, but as you can see, it's like there's like kind of a wrinkle that's been, yeah. It's almost like they pressed this book, but they screwed it up or something, or maybe it was like there was humidity damage and it like stuck to something. It feels like it was wet and then it dried out, and you got some of the book that came off there at the edge. Not cool. But overall, you know, it's I'd still say it's around a mid-grade book, even with that damage there. Like a 3.5, 4.0, 3. Well, not 4.0. Closer to 3.5 maybe copy. Well, no, the other half of the book does really present beautifully. I'm just going to add a little bit of wood glue here so get that little piece sticking out. Don't want that. You want that looking flat. So I mean, yeah, this could stand to improve from a press, but is this a book you really want to press at the end of the day? I'm just going to focus on getting a higher grade copy because there's a lot of copies of this book. But it is a beautiful John Byrne cover. And for those of you who are John Byrne collectors like myself, this is just kind of like our jam right here. All right, so I got that little piece glued down. That's not going anywhere for a bit. Yeah, it should stay there, stick there, nice. Yeah, overall the cover still presents high grade. It's only when you really start examining the book do you see the flaws. So one thing we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get this A section just a little bit cleaner. So I'm going to go in again with go with a new pad this time. All right, so we're able to get a lot of that dirt off on the A. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just do a little bit of eraser time just along the edge of that right here. And see if we can't get that wider. Nice. I think we're being very gentle. Yeah, it's a little cleaner. It's looking very dingy before. It's a little cleaner now. Just a little kind of a broad stroke along the spine there. Okay, I think that's as clean as we're going to get it. Let me get a little bit of this action here too. You can see I got a little bit of that gunk off the mister there. Just a little bit. Oh, see a lot of the dirt coming off there. Be careful. I tore my book last time. For those of you who caught my cleaning of the it was the Submariner second appearance of Sunfire book. That left me very sad that I tore my own book. But I taped it up. It's barely noticeable, so it's not that bad, but there's a tear in the book. This one, again, we're going to probably pick up a better copy, but for now, for 39 cents, I'm happy with this pickup. Very happy with this pickup. It's an Young pickup. And sometimes these Young pickups have more sentimental value than picking up high-grade books for a couple dollars. But I don't mind paying a couple dollars for this, a high-grade version of this book. This is just a classic book right here. So we'll be on the lookout for another copy of this. But for now, not bad at all. All right, so this is the final book. Another great burn cover here. And this one has a lot of, like, if you look at the edges, they're very brown and dirty. So we're going to try to just do a little surface cleaning on this one as well. But there's a lot of potential to clean this up with the eraser time. So we're going to take our time with this one, try to get it looking old, as bright as we can. So again, I've got the bleach on here. Just going to give it a good wipe down. Be very gentle. This pad is a little bit perforated, so if you do too much rubbing on this, it does kind of erode the paper. It's looking better already. I wish this were a newsstand, though. But I'll take it. Beautiful. Beautiful costume designs of all the characters from this period. That's what I love about it. Some of these are classic costumes. Others, like the She-Hulk, man. This is from 1989. So right before the She-Hulk. I did actually right around the time when the She-Hulk series got underway. So pretty cool. All right, so this one we want to be very, very gentle with here on the edge. I am going to get my eraser nice and clean. Got nice and clean there, nice clean surface. So we're just gonna just along this edge. Oh, that dirt's coming off beautifully. Yeah, we're getting a lot of good results on this one. Some of this is like just the paper, I think it's just oxidated. It's not like we can erase it to the point it gets white. It's just going to be brown under, because it's not surface, it's actually just brown throughout, through the, it's like into the book. It's not surface, it's part of the, it's like a stain essentially. I don't think we get it terribly cleaner, but if there's any dirt, we want to get the dirt off. Like right there. Just got that dirt off there. Boom. I don't think we're gonna, I think maybe here there's a little room for improvement. Yep. That looking a little nicer. Top here as well. There we go. That looks a little cleaner now. Let's take a look at some burn interior. Oof, look at this. Oh, it's beautiful. Wow, you got Burgess Byrne working on all the Avenger characters here. Cap's in the mix. That's She-Hulk. Look at that. Incredible stuff. Who else is in this book? I don't think anybody else. It's mostly Byrne. Like, you got some other artists here, but Byrne is where. Byrne is, look at this splash page here. Awesome stuff. All right, well, that was cool. And that is that. I would put this grade at put it at a 5. There's just a lot of staining and some, like, I mean, with the press, it would definitely improve. And again, more cleaning is needed. I don't know if you can get that yellow staining out of the book. It's just off-white staining. But in terms of the dirt, I think we got a lot of it off. It actually looks a lot better than before. So yeah, nice burn book here. Nice burn pickup with the annual there. 89 annual. Nothing more nostalgic than like an annual to get you reminiscing about the year 1989. Great cover as well. Beautiful cover. All right, so yeah, those are just a couple of the books we cleaned up. Love this pickup right there. I love all these pickups. Some Perez, Burn, goodness. All right, so just, I got some stragglers in here. Just going to go through the haul very quickly one more time for everybody. Basically, everything I'm going to show off here distributed over the haul would cost us 39 cents. 39 cents. Everything I'm going to just show you real quick. 39 cents. Spanish version of Daredevil 137, was it? 187. We've got Wraparound, George Perez goodness, Avengers 1, Superman Special, Todd McFarlane pin up here, Walt Simonson story and art. So X Factor, 39 cents, 39 cents, 39 cents, 39 cents, 39 cents. Spirits of Vengeance, Ghost Rider and Blaze, number 1, part 2 of 6, 39 cents. Pit, that was like this was a pity. This wasn't even like, not even sure why I'm showing you that, but 39 cents. Doom number 1, Doom 2099, number 1, 29 cents. Bunch of good Jim Lee stuff, 39 cents. 39 cents. Jim Lee's first work on Green Lantern, 39 cents. Divine Right, number 1, the A cover, 39 cents. 39 cents. Cleaner copy, X Factor 62 newsstand. Neil Adams, Avengers Finale. Green Arrow, great cover there. Neil Adams cover, 39 cents. Love this book. World of Smallville, number 1, Burn cover there. Another Burn cover, part 3, Many Deaths of Batman, newsstand. Namor, number 2, Burn. George Perez goodness right there. Avengers number 4. You guys saw these books. All right. And of course, our book of the haul. We paid $25 plus tax for this one, so $27.50 roughly. We got Fantastic Four 57. Again, presents like a mid-grade book, I'd say. It presents like a 5.0, but there's a big but. There's a spine split, and the Marvel value stamp is cut out out of one page. So it's not a complete book. Well, I'm not going to get this graded, and also, this is just a sick cover buy, so just going to keep it as is. Not even worth opening it up and looking through the book. This is just, it'll remain preserved and one of the gems in my collection moving forward. So yeah, let me know if you think $25 for this book was a deal or not, given the condition of the book. Again, Marvel value stamp was cut out. It was cut out rather just like a big section, like they cut out like a big square rectangular section out of the book. Just that page was affected, and it's got about 1.5 inch spine split at the top there. You can't really tell, but it's there. But again, not a lot of wrinkling. It's off-white on the back. The pages aren't that it's not brittle. It's just like, I'd say closer to 10 pages, but the cover just presents remarkably well. Yeah, it's a beautiful cover. Not a lot wrong. Just surface level at the looking at the book. So when you open it up and, you know, again, some might argue this is like a fair grade. I wouldn't go that far with the mid-grade presentation of this book. Again, it's an incomplete book. You got a little section cut out in the interior plus a spine split. So all in all, I would grade it at like a 2.0. But that's me. I'm a little biased there. All right, so great pickup. I mean, it was most of these books we picked up for 30. All of these books except that Fantastic Four, we picked up for 39 cents essentially. So it was just a good value haul. A lot of these are just, like this is a little bit of a spec buy, Doom 2099. I think there's room for that to go up. This one also. A lot of these others are just, this one's going into the PC. This is just part of the Burn collection. A lot of these are just, part of my George Perez collection, John Byrne collection, things of that nature. All right. This is the kind of the section where I talk about like the pop culture stuff and, I'm really just excited about the Superman movie. They've announced a little bit more of the casting, so we know some of the characters that are potentially coming to the movie. Deadpool's going to be out in a couple weeks. I think people are excited to see that. There's been a lot of reveals. We're getting 90s Cyclops, Jim Lee Cyclops, essentially, which is kind of cool. Whether that will be the MCU Cyclops or whether that will be just a one-off for this movie remains to be seen. But that should be cool. Yeah, I mean, there's not really a lot to talk about in terms of that pop culture news. I'm trying to think. They made some announcements about a live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that's going to be fashioned after, I guess, the Ronin series. The last Ronin. I'm not a big TMNT fan. I thought the comic book when it came out was. I'm probably in the minority on this, but I read the book. I've read a lot of books from that Eastman Laird run. It wasn't my cup of tea. It was a little too a little too hokey. For what was I? It was like probably grade school, like late grade school when that thing came out. But a lot of people loved it, so I'm not gonna fault people for liking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they definitely became like a cultural phenomenon in the late '80s, right? It's like they went from comic books to cartoons to like movies and all that. Rather, I would say it's a pretty big commercial success if you are doing all of those things in sequential like ascent. So yeah, I mean, the last Ronin live action. I hope it's cool. I have nothing against it. I'll probably try to watch it if I can, but could care less about that. I'm really more concerned about like James Gunn and the DCU right now. Like it's a long-term project, but everything hinges on how they do Superman and how Superman is received. Because I think he's the not that he's the linchpin, where he's the glue that makes it all work. I think audiences can kind of like be warm to him and still have those the larger DC universe stories like be great. Like Guy Gardner, right? I think Guy Gardner is going to be a nice part of that whole universe. But for me personally, I really want to see them do Superman right, because I can't buy into the DC universe without like me being on board with their vision and take on Superman. So it is very important. They announced, I think, a Beavis and Butthead, a new series. They're going to do the animated like movie and a series. I love me some Beavis and Butthead, man. I will. I mean, that's my. Hey, Locke, what's up? thanks for hanging out. Yeah, Superman is the key, and you get me, right? We're both Christopher Reeve Superman fans. I was like, I was 6 when I saw that movie in the theaters, and had such an impact on me at that very young age. I loved Superman. And you grow up with the Justice League and the Legion of Doom cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons. And then the Superman movies, there were like 4 or 5 of them, right? Sprinkled throughout the 80s. So I mean, I was reading again. What got me into Superman in comic books was the Byrne run, which is kind of what I'm focused on, trying to get. Added one more book, actually 2 more Byrne books on this haul. Added these 2 right here. But Byrne draws such a classic Superman. It's like Byrne. There are only like a handful of I think Superman creators that really do the character justice in terms of the art. Obviously, everybody's worked on the books to a degree, own the character, but the cream that rises to the top was for me like Jim Lee, John Byrne, Neil Adams, Kurt Swan, Ross Andrew. Obviously, Wayne Boring. Jerry Siegel, like these guys those are the classic golden age artists. Or sorry, Joe Shuster. Those are the classic golden age artists, and they're in kind of a league of their own. It's like, but I'm talking like, I guess throughout the years, and everybody's worked on the book can be considered having contributed to the legacy of the character. So again, so many artists have worked on Superman. So many great artists. And again, John Byrne, George Perez, two more names for me personally that I think do the character a lot of justice. And you saw like Frank Miller and you saw Todd McFarlane do the character. Not everybody can do the character. I'm sorry. I mean, you can be a great artist, right? be a great artist, but not everybody can do Superman. That's a hard assignment to do Superman. Um, you can do Superman in your own way, in your own art style, but there's like a specific, he has a specific look, he has a specific anatomy, he has a specific motion, and those are things that either you get the assignment or you don't. It's like probably one of the harder characters to draw in comic books, because it's just it's a rather kind of boring character in terms of the design, right? It's just primary colors and like a guy in underwear and a cape, right? You can't hide behind the design. It's rather just just a buff dude with nice hair. It's like rather simple. So, what are some other things going on? I'm just trying to think. Oh yeah. So, Roger is in. I reached out to Roger this month because I've been meaning to do some content with him. In the past we've done. He's done some like pressing, kind of like a pressing project video, like where we approach a book, look at it, kind of figure out if this is a book worth cleaning and pressing, if it has potential to really get a good bump in terms of its grade or presentation. We kind of like approach how he's going to approach the, improving that book. And he gets very detailed and like things that we can do, things he's going to do. But right now he's in New Jersey. So we're going to kind of wait to get that started, maybe about a month or so, I think he said. But when he's back in Florida, or no, he'll have a month of bandwidth to do it when he's in Florida. And Florida is where his like base is, and the Medicaid is there, and he has all the press, the machines, and the equipment and all that down at his home base. So when he gets the books, he'll have all the materials there to work on them. So when he gets down there, we'll get that going. So I'm not sure when that's going to be, but it should be soon. I got some more good news. I finally interviewed for the part-time job, our summer comic budget. So it was a really good interview. I think the guy likes me. He's just going through the motions of some people he's going to interview, but I'm hoping that he goes with me. So we'll see. I feel confident that it's going to be me. I feel really confident, but we don't know yet. He obviously has a different impression of maybe after talking with me, but we've got something on the board in terms of opportunities. So if I'm offered that position, I'm going to take it. Definitely going to take it, because it's like the perfect balance of hours I want to work. It's not too early. I don't end too late. But it's a good, solid stretch of hours. And it's one of those like stretches where I can probably skip lunch, just kind of eat a big breakfast going in, work, get off, and then have dinner, and then, that's pretty much it. So, I mean, with the summer budget, this opens up a whole new, like you can really target not only on online, getting books online, but just target what we did last year, where we're just targeting, I'll go to Everett Comics. I'll probably go to Vancouver to see Alex for her show in August and hit up a bunch of comic book shops up there. But it's going to be a fun summer. I don't think I'll be able to go to San Diego because I don't think I'll be able to earn enough in time to get the airfare and all that. I could do it where I just pay for it first and then save up all the work money and then apply it, because it is a good 3 months worth of income, weekend income. That's nothing to laugh at. It'll be a good chunk. And before, I was going to save the majority of it, just put aside $1,000 for books, save the majority of it for savings and my wife. But my wife is, I think, content with just $1,000 of it. So I'm kind of inversing that save ratio, and I'm gonna essentially set aside 1,000 to save for the wife, and then the rest I can splurge on comic books. So it greatly opens up the amount of books we can add this. And right now I'm very excited because there's a couple big books I'm going after, and the prices are way down on those books. So there's a real opportunity to get some good deals. At least, I'm just waiting for the Grid City Comic Con to come in the fall, because I think we have a good budget stashed away for that event. We'll be able to pick up a lot of the big keys I was hoping to pick up at that show. So yeah, we'll hit up comic book shops, but I'm going to be very, I wasn't disciplined today. I picked up a lot of kind of questionable books, I guess you would say. And actually, these are all books I want for the PC, because they'll be part of my Neil Adams collection and John Burton. So these are all nice books. I don't want to downplay any of the books I picked up today, but there's definitely some books here like I probably didn't need to pick up a beat up copy of this, but again, for that burn cover, I kind of gave in. This one I like this one. This is Adam Kubert. I collect Adam Kubert books. He is technically not in the top 10, but he's an artist I like. He's my favorite of the Kubert brothers. This one I don't need. This one, I think at the end of the day, it's not something I add to my PC collection. This same goes here. This is a childhood nostalgia book. I had that book growing up, so same as this one. A lot of these X Factor, these Walt Simonson X Factors are just, I read all of these growing up, so these were kind of, this one's just a really cool Todd McFarlane and Superman kind of book. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a core PC book though, but I do collect Superman, so it's part of the Superman collection now. All these things are great. This Daredevil cover, this Frank Miller Daredevil cover. There's I think a documentary out on Frank Miller right now, and Frank Miller's always been one of my favorite artists and one of my favorite creators, writers, and artists. But I just remember there's a period of time, I think people were getting too critical on some of the more modern covers he's worked on. But Frank Miller's a great artist, and case in point, right? And this is his early stuff, but I'm just talking about some of his real progressive stuff on the the Sin City is that's an Eisner Award winning project, by the way. When he came out with the Sin City books, that was just like, at the time, again, we're talking about the 90s, right? At the time, it was like so groundbreaking. Um, and of course, his work on Daredevil, absolutely legendary. Um, his work on Batman Year One, The Dark Knight Returns. Um, I mean, we can just go on and on for days on the impact he has had on the industry. Um, and he's just one of those guys. He can do it. He can just do it. The art, the storytelling, um, just gets the medium of comic books. Like, he understands, and he really, I think, yeah. I mean, he kind of was the voice of the Copper Age, my age, into the modern age, right? He's kind of like one of the leading voices. Um, Obviously, the Watchmen, Alan Moore's Watchmen was. Alan Moore's another one of those just incredible writers. But I think for me personally, like, yeah, like I, the Watchmen was a little bit over my head as a kid, because I didn't understand the history of comic books all that well, and the literature of that book, the writing. There were just so many. It was just like a combination of history and the history of comic books and the history of America. It was written at such a high level. It's really targeted for adults. So if you're reading it as a kid, you're just like not able to grasp a lot of the themes and concepts in the Watchmen. You go back and read it as an adult, though, and you realize, man, this is just really uh, good writing, just amazing um, look at superheroes, right? And well, our cultural sort of obsession with superheroes. Um, but Frank Miller, you could get no matter what age you were. Like, I think I must have been in like sixth grade, seventh grade when I picked up Daredevil. Um, his run on Daredevil for the first time, and yeah, it was a little violent. It was a little gritty and dark, but it was like cool. Like, he made Daredevil so cool. Um, and the same thing with, he introduced a lot of great characters, Stick, Elektra. Um, but the other side of the coin was this Batman, like Batman Year One, but Dark Knight Returns. Those were just like, as a kid, as a middle, I mean, they were a little violent. It was a little bit adult themed, but as a middle schooler, when you read that, you're just like, yes. I mean, you got every aspect of that story and um, of that comic book. And I must have read that thing cover to cover like 50, 100 times or whatever. It was just such a good read. Um, which is why I have first print Dark Knight Returns #1 in an 8.5. Disappointing grade. I think I mean, if you look at it, it's a high grade. It just has a little chip in the back. That chip is what undid us. A little chip right on the corner is what. Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. It is a chip. I can't deny it's there, but we're really hoping to get that back in like higher grade. But yeah, that was back. I feel like my grading has gotten a lot better since then. So I don't want to say I'm perfect yet, but I definitely yeah, I would probably leave grading to a lot of, I would trust the grading of some other people in my community than I would myself. But at the same time, in terms of buying and making sure I'm not overpaying and all that, like, I think I have enough handling of grading to not get into myself in a situation where I'm overpaying for a book. You know, case in point, this is, I mean, I think some might argue it's fair grade, but I don't. I mean, look at it. How can you look at that and say it's a fair grade? It looks amazing. So I think paying $25 for that is a pretty good deal. This one is like, I think this one probably could get like a 7.0. Like, I honestly think this is like a VF copy right here. In a Silver Age book. So I mean, we may get this slabbed. I may get that slabbed, but CBCS. I'm gonna slab it with CGC. I'm sorry, CGC. I heard they improved their case so that you can't even cut into it anymore, which is great. Great, but that a little too late. I mean, there's about a good jillion CGC slabs where if you don't reholder it and pay that fee, it has that issue, right? So yeah. And I'm more apt to just go with CBCS anyway because I like their slabs. Their slabs are pretty nice, especially with the new labels and all that. So it's a little cheap. It's like a tad hair cheaper. So if you're submitting a lot of books, you know, over let's say I submit 10 books or whatever, you know, I'm probably going to have at least close to like I want to say at least a 10%, not 10%, but you know, at least $10 in terms of savings for overseas seeing, which is not bad. That's shipping right there. So free shipping for essentially the same service. Now, is it the same service or is it a better service or is it a worse service? That's, I think a lot of people are land on the CGC is better than CBCS. I don't know why they land on that, given all their CGC's issues, but it just seems like people still rather hang that up than something from CBCS. I am not one of those people. So, yeah, I actually I don't mind the CGC, but you know, I don't consider CGC like a standard in any way. It's just a grading service, right? At the end of the day, it's like you're getting professionals to tell you what the grade of your book is. But when that professionalism and the trust in that value of that eye or assessment is lost, well, then there's no value to the service. And that's kind of where I am with CGC right now. It's like, do I really want to pay these people just to encapsulate my book and slap a sort of a subjective grade on it? Not really. But then again, I'm not paying big money for books anyway. I'm like kind of like just a cheap collector. You guys know I'm a cheap collector, man. I don't spend a lot on comic books. I could. I just choose not to. 50 cents is kind of where I like to pick up stuff. And, you know, I collect Jim Lee, so, you know, you got a lot of 90s modern books for Jim Lee. Just beautiful books like this. So the real, so you can either pay $3 for this or you can pay 50 cents for it. or like 25 to 50 cents for it. I mean, if you're really, I guess, if you bought a Chimley collection where you're getting like the entire series of books, comes out to maybe under a quarter, that's a huge victory. But you got to buy a collection, right? So, and even when you're buying collections, you're probably getting them somewhere around 30 cents a book, somewhere right there. So I feel pretty good about picking them up for 50 cents a book. I want to give a shout out to John from John's Comics. I've been enjoying his videos. Dude's a veteran of collecting, and I really like how he just basically gave a lot of good advice on how to buy books cheap. Of course, you kind of gotta have to put a good degree of money to buy a collection. Like, if you really want to get books on the cheap, you have to like buy collections. He's essentially saying, right? And there are ways to get collection. Like, it's similar to, I guess, the value of like the future value of money versus the value of money right now, right? There's that value is always changing based on like interest rates, right? So if interest rates are high, the value of money right now is um, is higher versus the value of money right now is higher versus interest rates when they're lower, right? So for his approach is kind of like saying, when you get a book that you want to purchase, sometimes it works in your favor, whether it's a trade or you're just buying it. Sometimes it works in your favor if you're getting that person at the right time, meaning, hey, I needed, like I did, like I had to move a bunch of books, right? I didn't necessarily get the best value for those books, but that's the kind of situation where you are going to get books cheap and like grail books, right? So always kind of get in a situation like that where this person needs the money more than they need the books, and that gives you leverage to, all right, I'll give you some money, but you got to give me a good deal on the books. And that's kind of how you do it. And then there's places you can go, like you obviously want to go to like local sort of comic book, not conventions, but local comic book like selling. They have a bunch. They sell them at the malls here, and there's little forums here and there where people sell comic books every weekend, to kind of familiarize yourself with that community and just put your feelers out. Hey, you got a book like this, what are you asking for it? You can find a lot of people that probably want cash more than that book. So it's good to go in with, like, if I don't get the book, that's fine. I'm going to get my price, though, for damn sure. If you're going to sell me the book, I'm going to get my price rather than you dictate what the price is to me. So you always got to gauge that. And every seller is going to have their price. They're like the sand in the line where I know I'm not going to go past this. And so it's at that point, it's like, it is a negotiation at that point. If he's not going to go below that, it's up to you to be like, okay, do I want to pay that, or no? Do I forego it and wait? But I feel like this summer with some of the books, okay, I'll just tell you straight up what I want to pick up this summer. We're going to pick up another Golden Age Superman book. We're going to pick up Neil Adams' Batman Joker cover. I think it's Batman 2. I say it's 249, but I feel like that's not it. Or 349. But anyway, it's a Joker cover. You guys know it's the Neil Adams Joker cover. And that's the one I'm saying, like, had I gotten last summer, I would have paid more for it. And as opposed to if I get it this summer, the prices on that have fallen quite, I don't want to say drastically, it's always a relevant book, but the prices last year were definitely much stronger than they are now. So I feel like we can really, like, I had a gauge in mind for the grade and the price we wanted to pay. I feel like I can pay less now for that same grade now. So that's a good thing. Yeah, John's video was good. I really like his you know, he has the know-how, and he's got a fantastic collection. I mean, that's the thing. Like, when you want to watch, there are a lot of fantastic collections out there. Don't get me wrong, but um, not every fantastic collection has the know-how to pick up books. Like, and that's like, I want to eventually be like him, where, like, I have grails in my collection, but I didn't spend grail prices on them. I get that. That's the lesson here. Like, you have an opportunity to pick up books like this all the time, because it's a market prices aren't always firm. So there's a lot of, like, middle wiggle room in terms of where that price could land, and that's was really, I mean, I'm kind of, I am I don't do a lot of, like, collector to collector type deals unless they're trades. But in a lot of cases, I don't mind giving up value if I'm getting something what I want. It's sort of the same concept. But I think with the summer budget this summer, I think I'm apt to buy from other members of the community, or at least some of the collectors out there who are putting up books rather cheap, but being able to kind of negotiate further, and picking up books that way, because I think it's a buyer's market for sure. And watching that video just kind of made me realize, like, yeah, when it's a buyer's market, like, you should leverage, the fact that they probably want to move books over. If the market's strong, they don't want, it all goes back to the value of money, but when the market's strong, they're willing to sit on the book. But when the market's not strong and they can't move it, then at that point, yeah, money's more important than having that book. And that's the thing. Like, there's so many people without an emotional attachment to so many books. Like, you may think, oh, he's got to, like, value that book very highly, right? Like, because I value it very highly. No, that's an assumption. Don't assume that. Assume, like, maybe he wants to get rid of it for half of what it's valued at, or even less, right? So that's kind of what John's whole approach taught me. It's like, be patient, read the room, understand who you're dealing with, look for those little clues. Like, does it, telltale signs if he's like, if he's going to be like a hard ball and firm on a price, you gotta kind of approach that sensitively. But if he's just like, I need to get rid of this book, give me an offer. If it's one of those situations, then you probably want to get as low as you can, like $1 for, like, a Silver Age girl. $1. No, come on, But yeah, um, I will say, stay tuned this summer. It's going to be another incredible summer of comic hauls, pickups, value pickups, and big book pickups. You know, I've got going through my list now. And, I think this year we're really going to try to focus on like keys and some Silver Age books, and maybe again like one thing, Golden Age Superman book. Um, yeah, we'll spend a good chunk on a Golden Age Superman book. And it's not the best time to get Superman books right now because of the movie spec and hype right now. I think all the people are kind of focused on Golden Age and Silver Age Superman at the moment. But there's so much there. And again, if we're smart, we're looking for deals, maybe bulk deals or, buying collections or whatever. I'm open to that. I'm open to buy a collection, even if it's a small collection to get like big books or get a volume of books at a decent price. So it's gonna be fun. Yeah. All right. Well, been going over 2 hours. I guess I've run out of stuff to talk about. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. We had another great haul today. Again, most of what I picked up, 39 cents. Got this for $25. So that's sort of the synopsis of the haul. We didn't do a grade along today. My apologies. It just would have taken too much time to grade all these books, but we will eventually get to grading them. And I may do a grading session tomorrow that'll incorporate some of these books. But for the most part, they're VF to near mint copies. Just a couple of these are probably low grade books. Sorry, a couple of them are mid grade books. I don't think any of them are low grade. But it was fun. This was a fun haul. All right, that's it for me. I'm gonna kind of organize these, put them in where they need to go, and have a fun weekend. Weather's gonna be nice in the Washington area, so I hope it's nice and warm and sunny where you guys are. Enjoy. We'll see you back here next time, maybe tomorrow, for some more grading. But yeah, once we start getting that summer income going, I'm gonna need to get some more long boxes or short boxes. All right, peace out.